Hey, how's it going there, folks? Welcome back here to a Tuesday. It is the Earthmaster out here, April 9th, 2024. It's about 11:06 a.m. here, California time. Latest activity here on the Earthquake 3D globe shows a 3.0 here in the vicinity of today's earthquake, which struck outside the Indonesia area. 6-pointer coming in. 6.6 earthquake early this morning, about 3 o'clock here, California time. 35 kilometers deep here into the southern end of the Philippine Trench. Of course, this area is very active on any given day or week or month. Quite a bit of earthquake activity takes place here in the Indonesia Islands area. I like to call it the crunch zone out here because this is where all of the plates tend to meet together, come together in terms of GPS directional movement and momentum and pressure transfer out here across all of the plates. Philippines area and southward into the Indonesia Islands area, a very large hotspot region for a lot of earthquake activity. Doesn't take months and months and years of strain to build up out here to produce these earthquakes. There's that 6-pointer from yesterday, just south here of today's 6.6. So things are, active, but not overly active out here in this area. This region does see, as I mentioned, quite a bit. And clustering goes on quite a bit in this area as well. Further up to the north and west here, off of the plate boundary into China, there's a little earthquake there today as well, 5-pointer. Most of the activity here from the Taiwan area is from yesterday. In the Taiwan area is from yesterday. That's still some aftershock activity following their large earthquake here a few days ago. But notice the multitude of quakes is calming down out here. That's a good sign. Up here into the Japan area, looks like most of this activity here from yesterday as well. Really not a whole lot of new movement to report there across that area. Things shifting down south here, it looks like. New Zealand seeing a 4-pointer right smack dab on the plate boundary here with a 4.1. So let's go check out the GeoNet servers here real quick and see what's going on in New Zealand. There's that 4.1. That's going to be there yesterday. Technically, it's the 10th over there right now, April 10th. There's that earthquake there, South Island. 12 reports from people feeling it. Not a big earthquake. Fairly shallow there at about 10 kilometers. And again, that's just off of the plate boundary, it looks like, for that 4-pointer. I'm kind of curious to see if we can spot it here on the seismographs. Looks like we can. That's going to be this earthquake right here on all of the seismograph stations in the South Island area. And of course, the red dot here is the position of that seismograph station. So it definitely looks like a 4-pointer, at least from looking at these graphs. Really not a whole lot of newer activity following this movement here about 6 to 7 hours ago there in the South Island region. Australia, looks like they had a 3.4. Looks like an older quake here, just off of the, I guess that'd be the southeastern coast here of Australia. Some deeper movement quakes there from yesterday into the Tonga area. There's at least one more here that occurred about 3 o'clock this morning, a 4.9, 572 kilometers deep here. Pretty deep movement yesterday. We did notice a little bit of surface adjustment going on here just south of the Samoa area along the Tonga Trench area up along the surface region. So we'll continue to watch that. We've been seeing a little bit of bouncing back and forth effect between deeper quakes and shallower earthquake activity upstream. Continue to watch that region. As far as anything major going on across the rest of the Pacific and adjacent plates over here, mostly smaller microquake activity, some 3s and whatnot here across the Peru-Chile Trench. Same for the Middle America Trench out here. Looks like there's a little bit of swarming going on out in this area, although not showing up here on the USGS map. Seeing some 3s and a couple, or at least one 4 out here across the plate boundary right here. That's going to be roughly within this zone. So that's going to be the Pacific Plate and the Cocos Plate there. I believe that's going to be that region. Cocos Plate here in the blue kind of hugs up against the Middle America Trench, the Mexico area, and portions of the Gulf of California. Right here. And of course, the Pacific plate going to be in the yellow. All right, so what do we got here for the states? Any new earthquake activity? Yesterday was a pretty quiet day here in terms of any earthquake activity across the totality line. You know, it's kind of, I was looking forward, well, I shouldn't say looking forward, I was interested to see if anything would take place here in terms of the relationship between the sun and the moon, the eclipse, and the earth, and the path of totality, whether we'd have any type of gravitational effects out here across the plates. And, you know, not even a hint that the eclipse happened yesterday. So there was no elevated earthquake activity whatsoever out here with that eclipse going on. I've seen a couple videos out here on YouTube claiming that the new Madrid seismic zone was going to unzip, but you know, during the eclipse, that didn't happen. We would have felt it, that's for sure. A lot of people would have felt that quake all across the east, but it didn't happen. All right, so a couple earthquakes here from yesterday. Notice the multitude of quakes here dying down as well across the New Jersey area. This region is the area that has seen that upper four-pointer and numerous other quakes here in the last 7 days. The total tally so far looks like about 44 earthquakes, and the last one from yesterday. So it doesn't look like any newer quake activity being registered here on the USGS map. Further to the west here, west coast, along the plate boundary itself, a couple smaller earthquakes out here in Southern California. One earthquake down here off the Brawley seismic zone. That's going to be a 1.3 from yesterday, and it looks like that Imperial Fault earthquake 3.0 from yesterday as well. So really not a whole lot of newer movement taking place out here. Little 0.4, but that is really not all that special down there. Not in a unusual location. This is the San Jacinto Fault Zone, so things are very active out here on any given day. And today just looks like any given day. Maybe a little bit less active than normal. Northwest of Las Vegas out here near the Beatty area of Nevada. Handful of smaller quakes out here. Really nothing major going on there either. And up into Nevada, north of Pyramid Lake. Couple twos after 3 o'clock this morning local time here. 2.8, 2.6, and a handful of smaller quakes in this area. Northern California, Bay Area, fairly quiet. Cascadia subduction zone, got one earthquake here. Into the southern end of the Cascadia for a 1.6, about 18 kilometers deep. Really nothing of concern up there for now. And there's some movement across the Mount St. Helens area a little bit today and a little bit from yesterday. Very, very small microquake activity there across that area. And up around Mount Rainier as well, some smaller quake movement up at the peak of that volcano. Let's check out Yellowstone. Maybe Yellowstone's got some movement up here. I don't think they are having any, but yeah, I really don't see anything. I do see the signature of the 6.6, though. Can you guys spot it? I do like to show little readings when I see these marks out here on the graphs. That's going to be the 6.6 there early this morning, all the way across the Pacific Ocean there into the Indonesia Islands area. It just goes to show you how sensitive this equipment is and how it can pick up these distant earthquakes. Out here in Moose Creek, Idaho area as well. That's going to be that signature from that 6-pointer. Aside from local, I mean, there's really no local earthquake activity to report out here. Looks pretty quiet. All right, anything else going on out here? Hawaii looks about the same as yesterday. Really not a whole lot going on. One earthquake here across the western area, the Big Island. That's going to be a 2.5. Fairly deep, though, associated with the weight of the Hawaii Islands on the Pacific Plate. That's 36 kilometers deep. Really no new changes out here in terms of any unusual activity. Still green, or still yellow in terms of the advisory and the color code of yellow. They're doing weekly updates out here now. It looks like the last update was put out, well, over a week. Well, 7, 8, 9. Should have done an earthquake by now. Maybe they're getting ready to do one today, but it's not out yet. Really not a whole lot to chat about here across the Big Island for now. Inflation continues to do its thing here. Here's the last 30 days of inflation data. Just kind of stair-stepping and whatnot. Not quite up to the level previously seen this year before that huge displacement of magma that got displaced there from the summit off to the southwest rift zone. We're slowly going up here, but we're not quite matching the previous level event. All right, live from Iceland here. See what's going on up here in the region. Still showing an active crater out here. At least one. This is the big one, and the north wall still blown out. So anything that does shoot out of this crater is ultimately going away from the camera. It had been facing the camera region there for quite a while, but things have changed out there across this area with a little bit of lava flow to the north. But still active. Still see quite a bit of fountaining going on there. Far as the latest update here from the Icelandic Met Office, they put out one yesterday. It looks like there's another one today. Slowly reduces lava flow in the eruption. So basically this is a translated version here from Icelandic to English. They're stating that there's a reduction in the lava flow currently taking place with this eruption here. Although the power of the eruption has decreased, there are no signs that the overflow or overall flow of magma from depth is decreasing. So we're getting that consistent flow of magma from the deeper areas below to the Svartsengi reservoir area, and then from there channeling up to where we're currently seeing the ongoing activity at the surface levels. And that's just, I keep saying it, this could go on and on and on for quite some time. Temporary high levels of SO2 continue to be measured around the eruption and in the settlements on the Reykjanes Peninsula. So no new changes out here. They did put out a model map here. That's kind of neat, showing the thickness. This is going to be the thickness here in meters of the current lava field. There's that main active crater right here that's been building up this land, filling up this area with new lava, stacking on top of the previously old lava here. That's pretty thick in terms of the amount of accumulated lava over the past couple weeks. Doesn't look like any new advancement to the south or to the east or to the west. We'll continue to watch it and report back on anything that changes out here. Really not a whole lot of change right now, though. Here's the earthquake activity in the last 12 hours. A little bit more active out here across the main rift zones. We are seeing a handful of earthquakes out here northeast of Grindavik, a little bit here across the Grindavik area. This could be some further indications of, well, maybe some more magma coming up from below to recharge the area. Most of the time these rift zones give off these little earthquake signals to let us know that that's probably what's taking place, but we'll continue to check back on it. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Mediterranean area quite active out here today. There's an earthquake in Iceland at 2.9 over here. I've seen that showing up here as well earlier this morning. Mediterranean 2.5 coming into the area of Turkey right now, and a handful of other quakes out here across the looks like the Greece area. I see a 4.4 in there as well. Aside from that, let's check out space weather and see if we got anything going on here across the area. If you didn't get a chance to check out my update last night, kind of talked about these prominences out here that people observed while the totality of the eclipse was taking place yesterday. A lot of folks thought this was some type of flaring going on, but these were prominences, beautiful prominences, and very visible when the viewing surface here is blocked out by the moon. They show up quite nicely there on the edges of the eclipse, and they're still out there today, it looks like. Not a whole lot in terms of flaring right now. We do have one sunspot, 3633 here, that is showing a little bit of growth. But today it looks a little choppy out here, a little distance in between these magnetic structures, indicating uh, probably that it's going to start stabilizing. It doesn't look like it's going to turn into anything of noteworthy value. Overall flare threat right now, 40% chance for C flare, M flare at 10, X flare around 1% chance or so. Not a whole lot of flaring going on there. Look at this. Consistently in the B flare category with an occasional low grade C, but this is very boring, the B flare class. Hopefully we can get that to change here. We are watching a sunspot, 3615. Remember 3615? That was the sunspot here a couple weeks back. That brought us numerous M flares, I think around 25 or 30 M flares in a very short amount of time. The current latest image here shows 3615 getting closer and closer here to the eastern limb of the sun. So we got a little ways to go before it's visible back here across the Earth-facing side of the sun. This is going to be the eastern limb here, so we'll see that coming around. Back over here in a little while. Right now, got a few days for it to make its presence known again, but it does look quite active. At least the size of that sunspot region is quite impressive. All right, really no auroras in the forecast. No surprise stuff going on for now. And there's the mention of the prominences here. Looks like this image was from Matthew Stewart, New Brunswick area, and Kevin, the owner of this site, from the Cornwall, Ontario area. Look at this. Prominences are right here. There's that little diamond ring feature. I remember seeing that specifically in the 2017 total eclipse up there in Oregon. That was a sight to see. And but those are prominences out here. Beautiful. Absolutely in the red right here. Some good shots there, Kevin. Looks pretty neat. All right, what else we got here? We got some big time severe weather out here today. Tomorrow looks a little bit more severe. Let's check out the current day one for now. Got a broad area across Texas and portions of Arkansas and Louisiana out here for some severe weather, with a fairly decent zone of tornado probability. Look at this 10% hatched area out here. If you're out anywhere within this green, brown, or yellow hatched area, heads up. This area of the 10% hatched area is basically the significant severe area where most of the dynamics will come together to produce large damaging tornadoes. We're talking about EF2 to an EF5 tornado within about 25 miles of a point. That includes College Station area, Bryan, Texas, Huntsville. Heads up out there today. Also, the risk of some very large hail. Look at that. Huge 30%, and the hatched area in there as well. Talking about large hail up to 2.5 inches in diameter. So you take a baseball and throw that at about 65 to 75 mile per hour winds there, and it can do a lot of damage. So heads up today for that severe weather potential. Tomorrow, that shifts a little bit further to the east with a moderate risk. Now, this is just one shy of the most highest level you can get out here, which is a high risk. And it looks as though that's going to be due to the tornado potential tomorrow. Got some wind out there as well. That's a fairly serious threat. Tornado and wind. Not much hail. There is still a hail threat, but the main deal tomorrow, tornado and wind potential out here across this area. Goodness, a couple days here of some severe weather for areas of the south. It's getting serious out here right now. All right, folks, let's see what else we got. Let's check out the long-term models here in terms of what to expect. There's our severe weather out there in Texas today, tomorrow. A lot of rain coming in. Our next storm system here in California looks to be this weekend, Saturday into Sunday. We got a low pressure cut off here off the California coast, bringing some cooler temperatures and some rainfall. And some cold weather dipping in back behind that. Look at that colder air and snow returning to the Pacific Northwest and up into Montana and Idaho. That could spell some Well, look at that. Wraps around that low pressure. A lot of colder air here in the blue lines. After that front moves through, well, looks like we bring some more, a little bit more severe weather potential out here. It looks like as we head towards the end of April. But it's that time of year. I mean, technically, any time of year could be severe weather. Well, with the cold air clashing out there with the warmer air. In the meantime, folks, have a good day. Stay safe out there. And all the seismograph stations right now, pretty quiet, pretty calm. Typical day on this beautiful planet we live on. Hope everyone enjoys their Tuesday. Kind of an odd day out here, just Tuesday. Not quite even halfway through the work week, but hey, it will pass in a blink of an eye. So just make the best of it. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the temperature out here today. It's supposed to be about 80 degrees here where I live outside of Chico, California. Currently 70 degrees, and it's only 11:30. All right. I'm going to go outside and check on my garden. I planted some garden seeds out here, some watermelon, cantaloupe, mostly for the kids, and some other items out there because it's going to be nice here for a few days. For germination rates, it should kick in pretty good. And, yeah. Anyway, have a good day. We'll catch you guys back out here later tonight. Take care, folks, and stay safe out there.